world, welcome back to my channel. It's January now, and January is one of my all-time favorite months, not just because it's my birthday month, but I just love the feeling of a fresh new start and a clean slate. And I just really love the energy around this time of year. Everyone is so hopeful and motivated, and it seems like all of us are kind of taking this time to sit down and dream up all the ways that we plan to better ourselves for this next year. But if you're anything like me, you've probably bitten off a little bit more than you can chew in the past and haven't been exactly that faithful to your goals. By the time February rolls around, most of us have already fallen off the bandwagon hardcore. But never fear, because today I'm sharing 5 tips that are gonna help you avoid being one of those people. And you're probably gonna wanna take some notes for this, so go ahead, grab a paper and a pen, and let's get started. So tip number 1 is to keep your promises to yourself. I recently read Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. It's pretty amazing overall, so I highly recommend just reading it in general, but she specifically has a chapter in the book that's all about the importance of keeping the promises that you've made to yourself. She talks about how every time you allow yourself to fall off the wagon, you're essentially training your subconscious brain to give up. Your brain is constantly trying to work on autopilot, so what's essentially happening is that the more you give up on yourself, the more your brain is calculating when it's most likely that you're gonna give up. And it becomes a habit and a routine to our subconscious brain. So that's the point when we tend to start losing motivation and where we inevitably slip back into our old habits. But if you learn to power through that and really keep the promises that you've made to yourself, now you're training your subconscious brain to understand that you're diligent and that you're serious about this. And so instead, it starts creating more and more of that motivation naturally to help you stay on track with your goals. So you need to get committed. I'm talking about full-blown marrying yourself to your goals. And you need to take it just as seriously as you would take a marriage. So stop cheating on yourself, okay? Don't be the boy of goal setting. Tip number 2, and this is a pretty long one. You want to keep your goals simple. So it's all well and good that you're gonna promise to commit to yourself, but if you've planned on achieving like 80 different things just within the month of January alone, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. So it's still really important to know how to properly goal set so that you don't become completely overwhelmed. And trust me, you are talking to the queen of overwhelm. If I could sum up my 2018 in one word, that word would probably be help. Because I pretty much spent the entire year feeling like I was drowning in a sea of confusion in every waking hour of my life. But then I found a really magical cure called Scientology. I'm totally kidding. This is not some ploy to get you to join the faith of Scientology. Reptile God, please don't come hurt me. No, instead, I started breaking it down in 2 steps. And this is where you're gonna wanna grab that pen and paper. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is write down every single thing that you want to accomplish. And don't hold back, don't judge yourself, just get it all out on the page. Most importantly though, you wanna get as specific as possible. So don't just say you wanna lose weight, specifically think about how much weight you want to lose. So if you have just a couple of really focused hopes and dreams, awesome, you're already doing great. But if you have a list longer than Moby Dick, that was probably a weird place to use that analogy. If you have a really long list of things that you want to accomplish, it's time to start cutting it back. So go through and start analyzing each of those aspirations. I'm not saying that you have to do this, but just imagine for a minute that you only have to focus on 3 to 5 goals this year. So if that were the case, which of your goals would be the most important? Which ones absolutely cannot wait, and which ones can? Trust me when I tell you that I know it can be really hard to choose, but I promise that if you really allow yourself to focus on just a few things and throw all of your energy and time into those goals, you're going to accomplish them so much faster if you're not stretching yourself so thin. And you can definitely come back and revisit these goals once you've achieved some of your other ones. But the faster that you achieve these goals, the more motivation you're gonna have to further continue achieving new ones. So now you have a list of all of your goals, and this is the part that most of us are great at. But the problem is that this is also the part where most of us stop. And the key is in the second step, where we start to create an action plan. So now that you've decided to marry yourself to your goals, it's time to kiss the bride. I hate myself. AKA KISS, keep it simple, stupid, except I don't like stupid. So I'm gonna change it to keep it simple, smarty. This is where we wanna make each of your goals as simple and easily digestible as possible. So take a look at your list again and start breaking everything down into the smallest possible steps that you can. For example, if your big picture goal this year is to lose 100 pounds, don't think of it as losing 100 pounds. Instead, you could break that down into about 8 pounds that you have to lose each month, or 2 pounds each week. And when you start thinking of things like that, everything seems a lot more manageable. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do this. Personally, I like to transfer all of my goals into a mind map. So I just started by putting 2019 in the center and then branching it out into each of the goals that I hope to accomplish this year. Then I branched them out even further as I was brainstorming about how I was actually going to accomplish them. And I just kept branching them out further and further and further until they were these really simple and really easy to-dos. And I know it looks like a total storm, but hi. Welcome to my brain. I'm very visual and it's stormy to begin with, so this just works for me. But if this doesn't seem like it's your cup of tea, then you can do it in any way that you see fit. You can make a list with bullet points, or you can create your own system entirely. Just do whatever feels right for you. So now from here, you can take all of those smaller to-dos and schedule them little by little over the weeks and months. Remember, you have an entire year to do this, so there's no need to overwhelm yourself by thinking you need to do everything all at once. Work a little bit on something each day and you'll start to feel accomplished every day, which is only going to keep you more and more motivated as time goes on. So now that you know what you should be doing each day, you're going to want to track your progress. I use this daily habit tracker from A Pear and a Spare, which is one of my favorite blogs, but feel free to use whatever kind of tracker you prefer. There's a ton of different options out there. There's apps and templates, or you could just make your own, but you just want to make sure that you have some way to keep yourself visually accountable every single day. And most importantly, remember that every day is a new chance to live your best life. If you fall off the horse one day, don't use that as an excuse to give up entirely. Move on from it, pick yourself back up, and just make better choices next time. The next tip is to know your whys. Part of maintaining stamina as you go on is remembering why you want something. When things get difficult, as they inevitably will, and when you want to give up, you're going to need a powerful why to keep you going. So if you're unsure of the reasoning behind a lot of your goals, go back, look at your list, and figure out how your life and the lives of those around you are going to change when you achieve these goals. Do you want to make more money this year? Okay, but why? So you can finally buy that Gucci bag, so you can go back to college, so you can afford to buy really nice presents for your friends and family? How will things start to be different, and why is it so important to you? And finally, one of the best ways to stay motivated is to keep your goals and your whys wherever you're going to see them constantly. Maybe you choose to make a vision board and keep it above your bed, or maybe you keep a picture of your son on your desk at work so you can constantly remind yourself that you're doing this for him. Surround yourself with positive, healthy imagery that reminds you of what you want and your reasons for wanting it, and you're going to stay motivated all year long. So those are my 5 tips to help you stay focused and motivated in this new year. I'd love to know what some of your 2019 goals are, so let me know in the comments down below. Some of mine include doing another big Euro trip, being in another play, and learning how to figure skate. Also, make sure that you check the description down below because I'm gonna leave a ton of different resources like books and podcasts and all the things that have helped me gain this knowledge over time. And hopefully they're really gonna help you. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and seriously, you've totally got this. If somebody like me can figure out her ish, then I have no doubts that you definitely can. So just remember that I'm rooting for you. As always, the world is your runway. I'll see you guys very soon with another video, but until then, have a lovely day. Bye!